We now know who will play for the 2020 Stanley Cup, and a member of the 1819 Sharks will be represented on the Cup. Tampa Bay versus Dallas. Let's talk about it right now on Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday night, September 17th, 2020. I'm assuming Tampa just loves playing in overtime at this rate. But welcome to Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive post-game. We do this after every night in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hi, everyone. Eric Curra here. I'm always on the Twitter and Instagram at PuckGuy14. But we want you to be part of the show. So chat with us and fellow Sharks fans, hockey fans, you name it, Lightning and Stars fans. Come on in. Let's have some fun. You can chat with us on this YouTube Super Chat on the page or the app. Of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, and of course our favorite Discord. And for more Sharks content, visit us at tealtownusa.com. And with that, we say good evening to you. It's interesting, I mean, and, kind of going through the chat here right now, just another Randy G. Dude, that OT goal was a heartbreaker. You hate to see it go off the netminder and in. My goodness, and he didn't know where it was. I mean, it trickled in and everything, and it's just... tough to watch, and those are the bounces that go in. Of course, the Sharks all know too well about rough bounces in the conference final, but it trickled on the goal line and then trickled off the left skate and into the net for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, for the first time, I believe, first time in 6 tries? Yeah, the first time in 6 tries that they avoid Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Final. All the other times they had gone into Game 7, the Eastern Final, they beat Philly in 2004. They lost to Boston in Game 7 in 2011. Beat the Rangers in 2015. Lost in 7 to Pittsburgh in 2016, lost in 7 to Washington in 2018, and tonight they win it in 6 over the New York Islanders. They go for their 3rd Stanley Cup final berth in franchise history in their, I believe it's their 28th season in the National Hockey League, their 6th conference final, and their 3rd Eastern Conference championship. For sure. So, Bernard Bennett, that Sharks first-round pick doesn't look good. Yeah, you are guaranteed now it's going to be 30 or 31. That's the chance you have to make, but it's the worst-case scenario for it. They do have a first-round pick. Just tough one there. Sleepy Mofo, Tampa Bay is better than the Isles, but we can see either Tampa Bay let the Islanders come back in the series. The Islanders weren't going to go down. I think personally, I think it's a little bit of the resiliency from the Islanders, playing their defensive style on a very talented against a very talented Tampa Bay squad that's very offensively talented. My concern for Tampa is how healthy are they going to be? Now, granted, we all know that come the playoffs, everybody is hurt. If you're not nicked or scratched or banged up a little bit, odds on you're probably been sitting in the press box for most of the time. Now, that being said, we saw Point was hurt prior to tonight's game, and he looked like he was struggling a little bit. We saw Cirelli take an awkward hit with Anders Lee. We saw Cernak have issues in this game as well. I mean, and of course, you have the dangling thing that's probably going to be going through our heads until Saturday night for game one, and we'll get to the schedule once we get more info out of it. But we hear it's Saturday, so interesting to see what's going to happen there. Felix, hello everyone. Just another round. That was that pick really going to matter once we got down to 4 teams. Not too much. You do have a little bit of wiggle room. You start to wonder how much that's if DW is going to move up in this draft, which is supposed to be a deep one from all the accounts. How much is he going to have to give up to move up? So, Alan G, a Stars fan here. What do you think of back-to-back in the final schedule? I think it's dumb. Now, that being said, to have to try to get these guys on their way back home from a bubble, I totally get that. And I'm sure that the players would appreciate it here. But in this circumstance, you're at the Stanley Cup Final. And most of the time, the Stanley Cup Final would play game one, maybe have a day off and play game two, and then sometimes they've sprinkled in 2 days off between games. I can't see them going back to back. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Not so mid-major. We haven't even gone over the recap of this game, but that Tampa Bay goal was all goody. Yes, Barclay Goodrow gets the game-winning assist on the goal on the Sorelli goal. So I took a half a foreseen point in that sense because I called for Goody to get the game winner here in this one. Funny that these were the two teams that competed over signing Pavelski, right? And Pavs was linked to Tampa Bay when he was looking for a new club. So, it's going to be crazy. Amanda saying Tampa Bay looked a little tired. And they've gone through a lot of overtimes, people, especially the first one, which went 5. You wonder, you're just kidding, but watch. Stamkos returns on Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised. So, Christopher Hogue, Bolts touched the trophy, Stars did not. Who is superstitious? Well, we'll find out. In 2016, Sydney touched the Prince of Wales trophy and eventually won the cup. Pavs did not in 2016. Pavs it was more Jamie Benn since he's the captain. Didn't touch the Clarence Campbell Bowl. The Prince of Wales trophy, on the other hand, well, that Victor Hedman, the assistant captain, since Stamkos wasn't there to be presented with it, went ahead and held it up and put it back down for the group shot. Rob Imanardi saying Stars in 7. Randy G, as much as I want Pavs to lift the big shiny thing, I'm saying Tampa in 7. Literally all last decade broke the superstitions with the Penguins. Right? Sleepy Mofo saying Tampa Bay in 5. Now this is going to be one that you're going to have to figure out. I mean, this one is a toughie. I mean, how do you go? I mean, Tampa's hurting. They have all the goal scoring. I mean, who knows? Kucherov been banged up so much, especially in this last round. You wonder what's he got left in it. You wonder. I mean, Victor Hedman was hurting coming into the return to play. You wonder what's he has left in the tank. He's been playing phenomenally, but he must be hurting too. And Dallas is in fairly good shape. So you wonder if Dallas gets off to a good start early on and Tampa comes around. It's gonna be tough. I don't know. And Felix, I'm right with you. So I'm going to be totally honest. I've been doing some thinking after the game, and I'm going to feel a little bittersweet if Pavelski wins it all. A little bittersweet that he didn't do it in Teal, but you're happy for the guy because he's worked his butt off to get to where he's at. Now, granted, do we wish he was holding it up first because he's the captain of the Sharks? Absolutely. But things happen. But here's the other thing. You know, what does this do for Doug Wilson? He loses Pavelski to the Stars, Western Conference champions. The one trade that Doug did do that didn't have any little conditions on winning the cup is the team that gets the former Shark to play for the cup. You know, it's a tough one, you know. Alan G is stating, you're right, Dallas was supposed to get beaten 5 games the last 2 rounds, and they've shocked them. You know, they went up 3-1 on Colorado. Of course, they forced that game 7 and then finish off the Avalanche. Another banged up team. Tampa, and then they went and stunned the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games. But just another Randy G. Tampa is banged up, but I take Vasilevsky over Khudobin. But here's the thing. Vasilevsky, Khudobin's missed only like 1-2 games, maybe. Sat out a third period of another one. So both of these guys have played most of the postseason for this team. I think Vasilevsky's been there the entire time, but Khudobin's been here and there. So let's see. Can't put too much on DW. Any team would have taken EK65 over Pavs. It depends on what the team is doing, And again, and AJ said this before. Nothing wrong with the trade. A little bit of criticism on the extension and how that hurts you, and especially now with a flat cap for the next couple seasons. It's tough to be in a situation where Hasso, probably wishes there was no cap and probably would have spent like crazy to make that happen. So, not so mid-major. I'll say this: despite the awesome assist tonight, Goodrow to Tampa Bay in exchange for a first-round pick is still a great trade. Yeah, absolutely. Burge 7F91. I'm still so happy Vegas is not in the final. Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, it's you might be right. You might be right. So, let's get to the recap since that's what we usually do. Devon Taves in the first period at 4:15 goes on a wraparound. That's right. It says wraparound on the thing here. That's right. A wraparound.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him.
It's a wraparound. But maybe 2 minutes and 13 seconds later, Victor Hedman in the slot takes a wrist shot for his 9th goal of the playoffs. He's inching closer and closer to Brian Leach's playoff record. I believe it's 11 goals by a defenseman in a single postseason to tie it up at 1. And of course, there were no goals in the second and third period until Anthony Cirelli scores in overtime to send the Tampa Bay Lightning to their 3rd Stanley Cup final in franchise history. Tough to do with the shots. Tampa Bay just did not give them any shots whatsoever. The shot totals were 48-27. I mean, the first period they're outshot 17-6. Favor Tampa 10-6 in the second, 15-9 in the third. Both had 6 shots in goal in overtime. Definitely Tampa was getting more of offensive pressure. So, it's tough when you don't get enough shots on goal to get it. So, but Andrei Vasilevsky, how are you feeling? I mean, you've been at it for now close to over 2 months, and not having a break, and with this schedule coming up, and barring anything I haven't seen yet, they were going to go at it on. Yep, and it is official now. Saturday at 4:30 on NBC. And you know what? Give me a second here, gang. Let me get this out on the graphic here, because this just came down. Of course, Game 7 would have been played on Saturday night, so be looking out for that. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick. I apologize, folks, for doing this on the air. So we got Monday at 5 p.m. for Game 2. We got 5 p.m. Wednesday for Game 3. And there we go. Oh. Well, we are definitely, and here's a big question, people are saying about it. If there's going to be a back-to-back, there's going to be a back-to-back in the Stanley Cup Final for sure. The official schedule has come out now, so let me get this up and updated for you all to share, planned accordingly, and of course, we will be on the air after every single Stanley Cup Final game, as it does pertain to a couple of former Sharks now, for sure. So let's get this updated here. Pardon again for the delay. And there we go, folks. There is your Stanley Cup Finals schedule. Game 1 will be actually at 4:30 on Saturday. Game 2 will be Monday at 5 p.m. And games 2 and 3 down here in the United States will be on NBCSN. Game 3 will be Wednesday at 5 p.m. That'll be on NBCSN. Game 4 will be Friday, September 25th at 5 p.m. on NBC. Game 5 will be the next night. So between games 4 and 5, there will be no break. They will go back-to-back in the Stanley Cup Final. That's next Saturday, the 26th at 5 p.m. on NBC. Game 6, if necessary, that'll be Monday, September 28th at 5 p.m. And Wednesday will be Game 7, Wednesday, September 30th at 5 p.m. So there it is, folks. There is your Stanley Cup Final schedule. Screenshot it, take part of it. We will be here after every single Stanley Cup Final game on Teal Town After Dark, and I'll be hopefully getting some co-host help now that we're in the final and a former Shark is that close to hoisting it over their head. So, what does that mean? Let's get back to the chat here. In this one, as you all talk about it, Anthony Sanchez, if Pavelski wins the cup, does he retire? I can't see it. I think he's got too much left in him. I think, Sleepy kind of hit it on the head, I think, a little bit. Pabs has 2 more years on that contract. He'll play it out, then retire, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Anthony saying Pavelski will retire and work full-time in his local business. He does have a local business. We found that out now. Pabs is at least maybe 3 more after. See. And here's the thing. Will he get more notoriety if he wins as a Dallas Star? Or because he spent more time in the San Jose Sharks sweater? I don't know. Kevin Serling, good evening to you. Thank Thanks for joining. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Islanders need more skilled defensemen. Tough to get. They grabbed Green from the Devils. Of course, the tie-in with Lou Lamoriello there. They could probably use some more defensive help. And, Sharks could have a defenseman available if they want, but they're all tied up with limited no-trade clauses. Does Jumbo join the Habs in Dallas next season? Who knows? Chuck Schumer. Who schedules this crack back-to-back in the Stanley Cup final? Yeah, I haven't seen a back-to-back in the Cup final in a very long time. Isles should trade for Dumba. Well, now they have some time to think about that now, don't they? Bernard saying, I think Doug Wilson should get fired, still have a crappy coach. Let's wait on that a little bit. We haven't had an official word on it, although all signs are pointing towards Bob Boughner returning this coming season. I'm just curious, and I said this the other night, I'm just curious if he did his due diligence and had some interviews with former coaches, because there are a plethora of former coaches that succeeded very well in the NHL that were available. Anthony Sanchez, I heard that Sorensen wants to play in Sweden. Anybody else hear that? Yeah, that was according to Shang Peng, our friend at San Jose Hockey Now, that he wants to train over there until the season starts. And let me see if I can pull that up for Shang, because I believe it was not confirmed, nor did the coach for the team, really denied it, for that matter, either. And let's see here. For San Jose Hockey Now, that Marcus Sorensen wants to bide his time by suiting up in Allsvenskan, and this is from a site from Sports Belated. But the head coach, Tony Zebel, told Sheng in an email, "We do not have any agreement with the Sharks," the story said in the Swedish newspaper. "I really don't know where that's coming from. However, instead of issuing a flat denial, would not comment on the premise of the stories, and that Sorensen wants to play on his team. So we will see. May not have anything set in stone just yet. And again, all of this is up in the air because next season is up in the air as to when things are going to get going. You got to wonder what that's going to be all about. So, got to look at that. And not so mid-major, kind of in the sentiment of a lot of fans. Get these games over with and draft. Well, the draft is already set for October 6th and 7th. So you're going to have a week in between. Now that everything's set, you're now going to have a week in between the draft and the and when the cup is going to get presented. It could even be 2 weeks for that matter. So we will see about all that. So Sleepy Mofo essentially also kind of agreeing, saying, part of me wants this finals to be a sweep so we can get closer to thinking about other NHL stuff besides the playoffs. Yeah, and hopefully we can get some ideas from there. Typically, we usually get a State of the League address from Commissioner Gary Bettman prior to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. We'll see if that happens tomorrow or early Saturday. In regards to what's going on there, who is coaching defense for the Sharks? That's another thing we do not know yet. Will Roy Sommer come back? Will we officially find out about Rocky Thompson, which we were talking about back in June, along with Boughner coming back? Sleepy Mofo saying Burns for Barzal straight up. Well, yeah. Sure, yeah. I'm sure that one of the 3 teams Burns is okay with going to will be the Islanders. I'm not sold on that. just another Randy G. If boring hockey gets you 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup final, then most teams will want to play that way. And that, my friend, is going to be an interesting thing. We all know this is a copycat league, and I think a lot of people were copycatting the Golden Knights on their run and gun offense early on in their existence. Now you start wondering, Dallas kind of played a little bit of a trap against Vegas. The Islanders played a little bit of a boring hockey scenario in that case. You start to wonder, could we go back to a dead puck like era? We'll see about that. Tetrahybrid Cannibal THC is saying Goodrow with the feed. Pavs leads his team. Good job, GM. Well, that's the tough part, and that's the thing. At least there are no Sunday games. Yeah, Rob, they avoid the NFL, which I thought was very important. I thought there's no way you can compete with the NFL there. You are going up against Monday Night Football, which, tough to see, Is Barry Trotz the best coach in the NHL right now? Well, he did a hell of a job with the Islanders. Hats off to him and his staff with the Islanders for putting that team together. I don't think anybody expected them to win. Well, if you count the qualifying round against Florida, I don't think they expected to win 4 rounds in the last 2 years without John Tavares. I don't think anybody gave the Islanders a chance to make the playoffs the last couple of years, and here they are. They've just absolutely, killing it. So, and yep, we were in agreement with that. We had a post about that on Teal 10 USA. Just another Randy G. Kurz called Bugner a virtual lock for head coach back in June. So interested to know who the Sharks will add at goalie. They're at a premium this offseason. Great segue. This one is an interesting one, Chuck, as it came out via Elliot Friedman and his 31 Thoughts today on Sportsnet, that the Sharks are one of 5 teams that have called on Jerks my Yotes for Darcy Kemper. Darcy Kemper makes about $4.5 million this year. I can try and pull up his cap friendly page on the Coyotes. It's been an interesting offseason already for the Desert Dogs, as they have reportedly missed some bonuses for their players, including Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Some other teams have also kind of backlogged on it, but Darcy Kemper makes $4.5 million and is signed through 2021-22 at 4.5. The backup to him, if you can even say that, Antti Ranta, has 1 more year at 4.25. You wonder if they go after Ranta if they don't get Kemper. So we'll see. He'll be looking for $3 to $5 million. He's got 4.25. No, you didn't hear that. No, we would be going crazy breaking news if that was the case in Hernandez. No. Yeah, in no way the Sharks can actually train Burns to his NTC. He has a 3-team no trade clause. There's no way it can happen. And like Anthony Sanchez says, it's probably sink or swim with Jones. DW needs to focus on finding at least 2 right wingers. So we'll see. Just another Randy GM. Still convinced some GM on the East sees Bernsey as that 2017 Norris winner. Trade top picks from. Hey, if that were to happen, absolutely. So that's where we're at right now. Definitely the speculation is starting to turn up. You are going to have a lot of it, go on now that we're into the Stanley Cup final. And once that cup is presented, boy, howdy, are we going to be busy. It's going to be nuts up to the draft and during the draft. Now, when that happens, we will go live on this YouTube channel. So do yourself a favor. subscribe, hit that notification bell. That will tell you when we go on the air, because when it's breaking news, we will just pop right on. We will not have a notice that you usually get about 30 minutes prior to us being scheduled to go on the air for After Dark. So be on the lookout for that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell. And of course, while you're right there, and I see 20 of you on, let's get those likes going. Come on, let's have a like upvote party. Let's congratulate Barclay Goodrow going to the Stanley Cup Final as his Tampa Bay Lightning win 2-1 over the New York Islanders. They win the series 4-2. In this one, Joe Pavelski versus Barclay Goodrow, who got the game-winning goal in the Pavelski payback last year. But it's going to be a fun Cup final. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than I think a lot of people think. Question being, Tyler Seguin, 2 playoff goals in 20 playoff games. Are you going to show up? Can Anton Khudobin continue on with the success that he's been having so far this season? Can Andrei Vasilevsky continue his great play? He didn't get tested a whole lot in this series. I think in the last two games of this series, he only got 51 shots thrown at him. So we will see about that. It's going to be fun, it's going to be fun either way. So be with us all the way. If you haven't already checked out our YouTube channel, AJ did a interview with Dan Boyle, which I'm very jealous he got to interview Boyle on. One day I'll get to interview a former Shark. One day. But all kinds of other interviews. Happy birthday to Mario Ferraro. AJ interviewed him back in April when this whole thing came to a pause, and we have had a number of interviews, big time. So go check it out. You have tomorrow off. There's no hockey tomorrow, so go check out all our content on Teal10 USA here on our YouTube channel, and of course, hit us up at teal10usa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and always available at teal10usa.com. So with that, I will get out of here. I appreciate each and every... Oh, come on. Really only 5 likes? Come on, people. Let's get that upvote party. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's go. Come on. Pavs versus Goodrow. A former Shark from last year's team is going to win the Stanley Cup. Let's see the love, people. Thumbs up. Let's like this video. We do this after every night. So I will be back with you for sure. Hopefully I'll have somebody with me for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Joe Pavelski versus Barclay Goodrow. I mean, the Dallas Stars versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's a Sun Belt rivalry like no other. Okay, it's the Ben Bishop Bowl. I don't know. But either way, as much as I make fun of it, it's great to see 2 teams that haven't been there in a little bit get backed. Yes, Tampa has been there 5 years ago. They will go for their cup. Will Steven Stamkos return? We shall see. I have a feeling he's going to at least try to skate the warm-up. So until tomorrow, or until Saturday night, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell button. Also, follow us on the social and check out our content right over here. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you Saturday night.